So back in 2021, my husband's job went fully remote, and we were currently living in a new build subdivision home, no backyard, really close to neighbors, and we just decided that that was not what we wanted. So we found a house that was on 2 acres. It was built in 1979, and it's definitely a long ranch style home. And it needed so much work. The people who had lived there before said they lived there for 30 years. They'd raised 6 kids in it. And honestly, I don't think they ever did anything to it. And if they did, it was not done well. And so we decided to start with the basement because it smelled so bad. It was musty and it just felt like a dark dungeon that was just creepy. And you were waiting to find like a dead body in the walls or something like that. And so in the basement, there was 2 bedrooms, and we decided to start with one for our oldest son. And I thought it was going to be easy, but honestly, I never sand coated before, and it was really challenging. All the walls had different texture. The ceiling was definitely the thickest, and it required like 3 to 4 coats of drywall mud. Same with the walls. I went through and did 3 coats on all of those walls, and just mudding it alone probably took me 2 weeks because I had to do a coat and then I let it dry, and I just repeated the process. Then after that, I was trying all sorts of different sanding methods. I didn't have a drywall sander yet, and so I was trying a pole sander. I tried a hand sander, and eventually I just was like, never mind, I just want to use a sanding block. And so sanding the walls weren't too bad, but it was the ceiling that was kind of killer because it would fall down into my eyes, and so I wore a mask for that, so that way I wouldn't get it in my face. And sanding also took me a really long time, and it was dusty, and it was messy, and I killed the vacuum because I sucked up too much drywall dust. So if you do suck up drywall dust, definitely use a shop vac or something that is more durable. Don't use a regular vacuum. But after I was done finally sanding, which I thought my arms were going to fall off, I just went through and I primed all the walls with a basic drywall primer. And then after that, I used Swiss coffee on all the walls to just make it feel cohesive. I even painted the ceiling Swiss coffee, but I used a flat sheen on the ceiling, and then I used eggshell on the walls. After I was done painting all the walls, I decided to add an accent wall, and so I painted it in the prettiest olive green color, and then I decided to add geometric slats onto it. So basically I used 1x2 MDF pieces, and I cut the ends at 45 degrees, so that way they would make kind of like a picture frame design. I painted the ends so that way I wouldn't have to put it up against the white and try to cut it in later. Then I caulked, wood filled, nailed, sanded, everything like that just to make it look pretty, and I think it turned out pretty good. The next step in this room was getting a bigger window. Previously, the window was tiny. It only opened like 6 inches, so we paid a window company who came through and put in all new egress windows for us. They had to cut the concrete. The window went from tiny to huge, and it just totally changed the feel of the room. Then after that, I was like, wait, I don't like these white walls anymore. And so then we added peel and stick, like checkered wallpaper, because he's really into race cars and Mario. And so it just kind of fit the overall theme. And that took me quite a while too to learn how to use peel and stick wallpaper. But honestly, it's great, and I would use it again. Then it was time to add all the finishing touches, and I love how his room turned out. He loves how his room turned out, and it just is a great blank space for him to grow up in.